welcome to the Wolfchase Toyota Insider. I'm Jeff Brightwell alongside Sean Burdettte. And Coach, we'll get into some things in a moment, but I know glad to be back in Memphis this week.
Yeah, it's good to be back home after 2 weekends on the road and headed out west for a fairly long trip, but a good trip in terms of just learning about the team and individual players, and then also getting to see a different part of the country.
We got a match win for you out in Seattle. The Washington tournament played two others close. As you mentioned, that's a long way to go, and UW's going to put some good teams in their tournament. Yeah,
and we faced two teams that were in the NCAA tournament last year, both in UNLV and Washington, and I think certainly we were able to test some things, and we had to shuffle some lineups here and there over the weekend, but at the end of the day, I thought we competed very hard to end the tournament and got that win against Florida International.
Well, when you get 3 weeks into a season, you deal with some dings and stuff like that. With everyone does. You mentioned shuffling some things around, but it's early in the season. That's what the tournament's for. It's something a coach probably doesn't want to do, but hey, it gets a player used to being a little bit out of their comfort zone, helping out in building some depth.
Yeah, and we always talk about who that next player is up, and that's what practice is for, and people are playing next to one another and different combinations of players and teams out there, even in practice. So to be able to do that and not really miss too much of a beat is a great thing, and it's always enjoyable to see people kind of step up and step into those new roles.
So you're going to come back to the Finch Center this weekend. So let's talk about the little bit of the new look Finch Center we saw at that very first weekend. That new floor, and it had just gotten finished, and it's coming together how you had told me several years ago you envisioned it. You wanted those bleachers in there close. There's still some stuff you want to do, but now it's volleyball only markings, no more lines from any other sports, anything hanging off the ceiling. It's really neat probably to walk in there, because I'm sure it's unique in NCAA volleyball to have a volleyball-only arena.
Yeah, volleyball only. We don't share with anybody, which is spectacular. So our players can come and go as they please and do things. We've got 3 full courts and then another half court for our setters or blockers to train on. And you certainly do not find that. You might find a 2-court facility here and there, but to have 3.5 full courts, as you said, volleyball only, markings, and really great partnership with Sports Floors Inc., who's based here in Memphis, and just to get that job done and get it out there. I've had recruits come through now, and that's one of the first things they talk about, just how great it looks, and I think our fan base was really pleased. And like you said, we got a couple other little things in terms of some permanent bleachers and things like that, but it is really coming together, and it's great to be able to walk out there every day with that.
Aesthetically, it's nice too, because it centers the competition court in the middle of the arena. You bring your bleachers in. You didn't lose that intimate, really good atmosphere. You were able to keep that.
And that was, the main goal, is to really keep those fans right on top of the action and be a part of it. And especially when we get the band in here and everything like that, it will still rock. And it's just nice aesthetically to be able to center everything and then have just a little bit more operating room, but still have everybody close by.
And I don't want to get ahead of myself or anything, but look, last year you had a couple of matches that it was a great problem to have. They had to turn some people away. Now that you've got it centered, if you had that issue in the future, there's always room for a little bit of expansion.
Yeah, and even for our last home tournament, we had people standing, and it's great to be able to pack that in and, have a little bit more fan support and allow a few more people to come in and watch. So there is that option to kind of beef up the capacity a little bit and make room for some others. But again, that's what we want. We want sellouts, and I think, it's a growing sport still, and the community is certainly, wrapping their hands around it and full support.
A couple more things on that. Do you see now that you guys have had your own place at the Finch Center, and as they kind of improve it, it was one thing to have to share with the field house, but maybe you had to go over to the garage and everything and get in, but now it's really easy to roll in off of Spotswood or Southern, roll right into the Finch Center. The convenience there has helped kind of grow things.
Yeah, and you got the parking lot right there in the front of the Finch Center, and it is easy access. And at the end of the day, we're trying to grow the fan experience and making sure that they feel a part of the action and also the entire experience for the match in terms of what's pregame and postgame and everything like that, and having access to meet our team and everything. I think that's really important. So it's not just go out and play and have that product, but then also to be able to mingle with fans as well afterwards.
Final thing on that subject, what was it like after they got done finishing the floor so that you could walk on it the first time the team really got to, I'm sure they saw it, little angles here, but walk out there and go, here's your new surfaces. That really does look nice.
Yeah, I mean, you try to tape everything up and keep them from looking, but it's tough not to peek sometimes. But I think they were super excited in that to really be right before we played, literally, and it all came together at that one time for us to start against Alcorn State, and it's great to see all that come together for them, so they have something to be proud of, and then also to go out there and practice and do the things that they love.
All right, well, let's talk about, you're back there this week. It's going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the Beale Street Ball. You're going to start it off with Arizona State Thursday at 1 o'clock, so you're going to get a Pac-12 team to start things out with. Yeah,
and that's what we set this year up for in terms of challenging matches and playing good teams that were in postseason play across the board at all the tournaments that we're in, and to be able to have that at 1 o'clock, but then also have the campus school come over and bring a lot of the kids to the match, and hopefully they get to learn a little bit about volleyball. But every year that they bring them over, you never know what you're going to get, and you get all kinds of noise. They might be cheering for anybody at that point, but it's exciting for us to take this last weekend and play 3 matches over 3 days instead of playing multiple matches in one day. So I'm excited for that, and to just be able to focus one by one for each team.
You got your Friday evening match, Southern Miss. That series dates back to the old Metro Conference, so these two schools go way, way back.
Yeah, and a great coaching staff there, Jenny Hazelwood, and she's put together a really good team. And another team that was in postseason play last year and got to the finals of the NIVC. So, again, it was teams that we went out to search and say, hey, this is where we want to be and be in postseason play. And, every step of the way, that's what we're preparing for.
Then you have Little Rock Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock. That's a team that you play quite often in the tournaments if you go there, if they come over here.
Yeah, and we've kind of had it back and forth. They were here last year and they're coming back over again. But it's always good to play those regional teams, and whether we're traveling there or they come here, to be able to have fan bases, easily make that transition and go and support their teams.
All right, well, Coach, hopefully you pack it out this weekend over at the Finch Center. Should be fun.
Yeah, thanks so much.
That is Sean Burdettte. I'm Jeff Brightwell with the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network.